everyone, and a beautiful day to you. 30 people killed, 8 of them children, homes reduced to ashes, entire families torn apart in just a few hours. Another community in Kaduna State has been plugged into mourning after a deadly overnight attack that has once again raised urgent questions about the security of rural communities in Nigeria. As grieving families bury their loved ones, many are also asking why help did not arrive sooner and what more can be done to prevent another tragedy like this. The Punch reported that at least 30 people were killed when terrorists attacked Naridon village in Kamaru ward of Garo local government area of Kaduna State on Sunday night. The attack reportedly began at about 11 p.m., leaving several residents injured while houses, shops, and other businesses were set ablaze. The incident has drawn condemnation from the Kaduna State government, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and the People's Democratic Party governorship candidate in Kaduna State, Usman Bawa. Naridon is a border community situated between Kaduna State and Ganawuri in Riyom local government area of Plateau State. During the attack, the assailant reportedly invaded the village, opened fire on residents, and set buildings on fire, forcing survivors to flee for safety. By the time the violence subsided, the community had suffered one of its deadliest attacks in recent months. The secretary to the village head of Naridon, Dogon Rana, confirmed the incident in a telephone interview with The Punch. According to him, 30 people had been confirmed dead, including 8 children, while 4 others sustained critical injuries and were receiving medical treatment. He also warned that the death toll could increase because some of the injured remained in critical condition. Rana described the scale of the tragedy in heartbreaking terms. He said one resident lost 5 children during the attack, with only 1 child surviving and currently fighting for life. According to him, the attack has left the entire community devastated, with many families mourning loved ones while also counting heavy losses from homes and businesses destroyed during the assault. The destruction extended beyond the loss of lives. Rana disclosed that his own house was among the buildings razed during the attack. Numerous shops and residential buildings were also destroyed, leaving many survivors without shelter or a means of livelihood. Families who escaped the violence are now faced with the difficult task of rebuilding their lives while coping with the emotional trauma of losing relatives. Another resident, who spoke to The Punch on the condition of anonymity for security reasons, alleged that 22 members of the Rana family also were killed during the attack. The resident also claimed that the attackers operated for about 3 hours without intervention from security personnel stationed in nearby Kamaru and Ugwang Magaji, communities said to be less than 2 kilometers away from Naridon. The same residents further claimed that security presence in the area remained limited, stating that only 1 military officer and 4 mobile police officers are currently deployed to the community. Although these claims have not been independently verified, they reflect growing concerns among residents over the level of security available to vulnerable communities that have experienced repeated attacks over the years. Rana also blamed the high casualty figure on the poor condition of the access road leading into Naridon. According to him, the absence of a motorable road delayed emergency response and made it difficult for residents to escape the attackers. He argued that better road infrastructure could have enabled quicker intervention and possibly reduced the number of casualties recorded during the attack. He appealed to both the federal government and the Kaduna State government to deploy additional security personnel to the area and prioritize the construction of an accessible road linking the community to neighboring towns. Community leaders believe that stronger security deployment and improved infrastructure would significantly enhance emergency response during future incidents. Reacting to the attack, Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani described the killings as tragic and directed security agencies to intensify efforts to apprehend and prosecute those responsible. In a statement issued by the Commissioner of Information, Ahmed Mayaki, the governor also instructed the Kaduna State Emergency Management Agency to provide immediate humanitarian assistance and relief materials to affected families. The Kaduna State government further stated that it would work closely with the Plateau State government, security agencies, traditional institutions, and other stakeholders to strengthen security cooperation along communities located around the Kaduna Plateau border. Officials said greater collaboration is expected to improve intelligence sharing and strengthen efforts to protect residents living in border communities. The People's Democratic Party governorship candidate in Kaduna State, Usman Bawa, also condemned the killings, describing the attacks as a horrifying act of barbarity. He called for the immediate deployment of additional security personnel to Garu and other vulnerable communities while demanding a comprehensive investigation, the arrest of those responsible, and urgent humanitarian support for survivors, injured victims, and displaced families. Former Vice President and African Democratic Congress presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar equally condemned the attack, describing the killings as heartbreaking and unacceptable. He argued that the latest tragedy demonstrates the need for a comprehensive overhaul of Nigeria's security architecture. Atiku called for intelligence-driven security operations, the swift prosecution of perpetrators, and stronger preventive measures to protect vulnerable communities from future attacks. Atiku also urged security agencies to remain vigilant as political activities ahead of the 2027 general election continue. He stated that Nigerians need practical security on the ground rather than assurances, adding that protecting lives and property should remain the highest responsibility of government. He further remarked that communities facing repeated attacks are more concerned about safety than public commendations received from foreign partners. The latest attack has once again drawn attention to the persistent security challenges facing communities in southern Kaduna and along the Kaduna Plateau border. For years, residents in several communities across the region have endured repeated attacks, kidnappings, displacement, and destruction of property. As investigations continue and families begin the painful process of burying their loved ones, many Nigerians will be watching closely to see whether those responsible are brought to justice and whether stronger measures will finally be taken to prevent another tragedy of this magnitude. For more updates, stay with us on News Express. I am Cassie Tony, and many thanks for watching.